Was there indoor plumbing in your house?
Well, not the very first house we lived in, but when I was maybe a first grader, we moved in a new house in from Pingree, and then we had plumbing. Yeah.
What was your favorite toy and why?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea what my.
Describe a typical dinner.
Oh, it would be meat and potatoes and vegetables, I'm sure. Yeah, and the dessert probably, because we always ate very well.
How were holidays celebrated in your family?
We celebrated every holiday with relatives the same. My mother's brothers and sisters and their families usually. Usually they came to our house a lot of times. Yeah.
What is your position in the family?
I'm the oldest.
Were there any advantages?
Oh yeah, it's distinct advantage to be the oldest.
Disadvantages?
Disadvantages is you got a lot of babysitting.
Did you buy your own clothing?
Yeah, usually. Grandma sewed, too. She did everything. She sewed, she raised chickens, she raised gardens, she canned, she was a typical farm wife at that time.
How is the world different today from what it is like when you were a child?
It's small. You can go anywhere and quickly, instantly know what's going on halfway around the world. It's amazing.
Are there any stories about your family?
Oh, I suppose we could find some, but I don't.
Who stayed on the Jim River? In that little hut.
Oh, my dad and his brother Louis. They worked for the Civilian Conservation Corps. They built all those islands and channels in the Jim River because it was so dry in the 30s when they got married. That was one way Grandpa had a job so he could live. He got paid by, worked for the government. Went stayed in the side of the hill like a cave where they slept at night, and then they come home on weekends. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that was one way they survived.
That was in the 30s?
Yeah, he was married in 34. So that's like when Walt Alman around here, Walt worked for CCC too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, see,
so was your dad military?
No, it isn't military. That was a civilian conservation corps. Just it was a government program Roosevelt had so that people could
stay on the land.
Stay, yeah. And then by the time World War II came, my dad had a bunch of little kids, so then he stayed home as a farmer and helped feed the war machine. Yeah. Yeah, he had a long, interesting life.
Yeah. Well, they all did back then.
Yeah.
How did you get your mail?
Just walked out to the mailbox just like I do today.
How often did you
Every
get it?
day. Still a good service, isn't it? Yes.
If you lived on a farm, what crops did you plant?
We raised wheat and barley and corn, silage, and made hay.
Did they ever have registered cows, your dad?
No.
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 He always had dairy or beef cows though?
He had Hereford. Herefords are still popular then, and then Angus came in later. But originally, Polled Hereford was
Polled?
pretty much standard.
So what did Dad think about a Polled Hereford? Coming from the Horned Hereford, Wheeland.
I don't know.
Because Ray, on Ray's interview, he was talking about across the lake there. They like the no horns, and the Wheelands waited theirs to make them.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Did you save your money or did you spend it?
Oh, I'd spend it, but I'd save it for like Christmas, and then I could buy something for my mom or something. You know, I'd get a dime for babysitting. They wanted to go to the movie, and then I'd babysit, and I'd get a dime every time. But eventually, it counted up by the end of the year.
What's a dime worth then?
I don't know. It took a few.
What did a movie cost?
I don't know. I can't. I don't remember.
I think they overpaid.
Yeah, I don't. I just remember that. And the reason I remember it was a dime was because I had a bank, and it was a clown, and he'd stick his tongue out, and you put the dime on the tongue, and then he'd swallow it.
Awesome.
Were there any special items in the house that you remember?
No, just the whole house was just a nice house. It was a good piano, and it was there,
Was there always a grandfather clock?
No,
That's what I remember.
no, I don't remember.
Did you have a bed of your own?
Probably not. I think I always slept with one or two sisters.
I don't know what else. Did your family have a refrigerator?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we had refrigerators and deep freeze and.
You didn't have a meat cellar?
No, I don't remember that we did, but we had a lot of canned meat. Grandma would can chickens, and she'd can hamburgers made up. She'd can slabs of beef with a kind of a gravy. That was good stuff. It was all cooked, canned, and ready to eat.
Just throw it in the microwave.
Yeah, they didn't have a microwave.
What kinds of grades did you get?
Good ones. A's.
When did you get your first job outside of the family?
When I went to college. And I worked for Hilda Vangstead at College High for work study.
Bankstead Auditorium?
Vangstead's, yeah. Yeah.
Who did the work?